Hi everyone, today we are going to be doing the first item on this page from Magical Worlds by Johanna Basford. We have a sort of interesting, every single one has a little sort of bird box house except this first one. But I think they are all very sweet. We're going to have a go at these. And I'm going to be using these pencils. Ta-da! No, I was kindly gifted this pencil case and it's been really useful because what I have done is I'm going to show you this swatch chart. It's quite complicated. But what I've done is I've mixed together my Castle Art Soft Touch, my Harmonious and my Pasteltint all together in this set. In this case, and I've done this combination chart which I'm using. I put them in this order, the chart order. Now this chart is available on my Ko-fi shop, so it means that if you want to have a go, if you've got all the sets. Now I checked with Castle just before I start colouring to see whether the Harmonious and Pasteltint were designed to go with the soft touch or the gold, and they said although they would go with both, it's the soft touch that they go with, that they're designed to go with. So that's what I mixed them together with. So as I say, this chart is available in Ko-fi if you want to get it and if you want to do something like this. So I am going to be using a mix of the Castle pencils, the Harmonious, the Pasteltint and the soft touch. Hopefully it won't be as confusing as I'm making it sound. So I'm just going to move my pencil case out of sight there, put my swatch chart up there, and then we can come closer and start this little flower. It may end up that I just end up using one set all the time for a particular picture, but I'm keen to try them out. And my doorbell just went, I don't know if you heard it, and I suspect it is a new item that I bought that I'm expecting, which I was going to show you in a video, but it hadn't come in time, so I started this video and now but anyway, we'll do this one and I'll go and look at that in a minute. So we have a floral. Now I'm looking at the different parts of this flower. We've got our big petal, we've got a little petal in between. Now you could do that in a green as if it's a bit of a leaf, but I think I might do it as a petal because we've got quite a lot of areas down here which are potentially green. And then we've got the centre bit. Now I'm thinking I might go for just a pink because we've got a lot of pinks in this set. I've actually opened it randomly on the pink page, and I could try mixing some of the soft touch pinks with some of the Pasteltint pinks and we'll see how it all works. I can show you how I would mix them and you can see whether that's something you think you'd like to do. So I'm just having a look at our tones of pink, because we've got things like the cherry pink and the juniper pink which are quite red, and then we've got things like the sort of purple which is quite pink, more sort of words. So I think I am going to use I'm just going to start with the purple light and stop waffling and start colouring, and you'll see where I'm at. So here we go. This purple light is from the soft touch set. Now I might start forgetting to say which set they're from, but the soft touch, I've got the black on them. The other two sets don't. The barrel is the full colour of the pencil. Well, not an exact match, but you know what I mean, as good as. So I'm going to start fading this here and just sort of fade it off to nothing so we can blend in a lighter colour and just see how it all works out together. I'm going to do, I was just had a silly thought. I'm going to stop that thought in my head. I thought maybe I could do the two flowers different colours. Yes, of course you could, but my brain went no. So we'll not do that. We'll do both flowers the same colour. They're attached to the same root, so my brain can't be doing with that. I saw the most gorgeous plant with 3 different colour flowers on it. Now I'm sure it was 3 different rootstocks mixed together. It was a forget-me-not. Now I don't know if you're familiar with forget-me-nots. They are just the teeny weeniest flowers, and quite often they grow as weeds, but they're beautiful. And this one had not only the sort of traditional blue colour of forget-me-nots, but they also had white ones and pink ones on in the same pot. It looked gorgeous. I was really tempted to get it, but it wasn't what I was looking for at the time. We actually went to buy some hardy plants for the garden. Me and husband yesterday, we went for a date to the garden centre. And we were hoping to get some ferns or something that might flower but then last through the winter, that sort of thing. We ended up with 3 grasses, different colours. One was a sort of lovely bright spring green type colour. One was more of a sort of rusty reddish brownish colour, and the other one was a sort of more of a bluey green with a sort of pale straw colour in it. And my sons came back from uni and one of them said, well, they're already dead. He's lovely. Yeah, so anyway, so pop those in, and we might get a few more to match them on the sort of other side of the garden, but I said, then let's not just jump the gun because we know we're rubbish at gardening. Let's sort of wait and see. I am going to use, I want a lighter shade. I'm looking at the Pasteltint ones, and there's not any this sort of shade. They're all very much reddy pinks rather than this pink. I probably messed up a bit there. And there's the, oh, maybe the tickle pink will work. Where's that? Oh, there it is. I put it there. That's a funny place to put it. Would it work? I'm just trying to think. No, it's more of a purple. Yeah, some of my placements of pencils in this are a little bit weird, but I think I'm going to use the jellybean and just see what happens. Where are you, jellybean? I haven't used these since I put them in the case. Can you guess? Can't find anything. Here we go, jellybean, and this is a Pasteltint. As you can see, it's the same colour through. The Harmonious are like this too, with the same colour through. Now, talking about where you can get these from. Now, as far as I'm aware, the Harmonious pencils are now for sale on Amazon, as are all of the other Castle pencils too. Now, it's well worth waiting for a sale if you're thinking of buying anything from Castle, because their prices, they have a lot of sales, put it that way. Also, compare the prices across their website and Amazon. That's if you can buy from both. Obviously it depends where you are in the world, but compare the prices and see which is the cheapest. That's working quite well, I think. So make sure that you're, you know, not paying more than you need to, really. So that is what I would say. Also, I need to fade this a bit better, it looks a bit messy. Also, look out at Castle's website because they have got some free courses. Now, I've done these free courses, some of them already, because I was invited to be a sort of early tester because I'm a Castle Art ambassador, i.e. I should declare this really, I get commission on sales of Castle, both through Amazon and through their own website. So I, as a Castle ambassador, I do get got a sneaky peek at the two of the courses. One was a drawing course, which the sections on shading I found quite useful for colouring. I can't remember what the other one was. Was it a colouring course? I can't even remember. And I gave them some feedback, so I haven't done the new course, and whether it's the same or not, I've got no idea. I gave them a bit of feedback on a couple of things. It was very good, I shall have to say, but there were just a few points which are places where I couldn't quite hear very well, and I can't remember what it was, why, and something, one of the camera shots weren't ideal for being able to see what was going on. But I gave them this feedback. I thought overall they were really good, but I just wanted to I think I'm going to move from my purple light and get a slightly lighter. I think if I use the Bengal Rose Deep, it might be more of a transition colour between the two shades. This again, soft touch. So yes, overall it was very good, and I assumed that I was given it to test for free and then they would be charging, but it looks like they're still free for everybody. And of course the people doing the courses and teaching and giving you homework and things, they're using Castle products, obviously, because it's a plug for Castle, which is absolutely fair. I think I've seen other companies do the same thing. I think Jackson's Art do it too, where they have little master classes and things. So obviously you can do it without having those products. You can use whatever you want. So it's but it, you know, it's up to you. But it's worth having a look. It's free. You know, you never know what you're going to learn. It's I find them pretty good. So I'm just, you know, I am plugging it because I'm colouring with Castle, and because I thought it was quite valuable. You know, I know a lot of you or watch me obviously and learn from me, but sometimes having a different perspective is really quite useful. Now I am going to do those in between ones. I'm thinking maybe a pinky purple. We've got like the cobalt purple, which is slightly pinky purple, or we could go for the tickle pink, which is more of a sort of dirty purple. I'm going to use that, I think. It's a bit like a, it reminds me a bit of the bruise in Black Widow, I think, that sort of colour. See what you think. I'm going to pop it in. I think the shade is going to work with what we've got going on, but it's just a little bit bluer. I'm trying to fade slightly towards the tip. I can hear a lot of noise outside, and I wonder what someone's doing. My neighbour was jet washing their patio the other day, so I might be doing that. It's really sunny today. I've been out actually twice in the sunshine. Went out this morning with my son. He wanted to look for some snowdrops, but actually we found a few eventually, but they're going over. But we saw some mini daffodils which were really pretty. And actually later when I was walking, I walked the other way along the canal, and I saw some really pretty white blossom. Absolutely gorgeous. Really, really pretty. So that was rather nice. Yeah, so spring has sprung, and I was telling my husband I overheard this really funny conversation on the canal path. I'm just going to choose my next colour. I'm going to go for the Soft Touch Lavender first, for the little sticky outy bit, because that's the word. Here we go, lavender. Yeah, I've got to sharpen it. I was following this couple along the canal path. They'd moved to let me by actually, because I was going a bit fast with them. And the wife said, "Oh, it isn't as warm today as I expected." And her husband said, "Yes, it is." And it really struck me, because I've been reading quite a lot of self-help books and watching. Actually, it's not really the self-help book. I was watching a podcast, and it was talking about communication and relationships and things like that. And it just really struck me, like, is he an empath? Does he know what she was thinking, how she imagined how hot it was going to be? You know, it struck me as interesting, because I'm trying to be more aware of other people, if you know what I mean, and their feelings and things. I think I am okay, but you know, listening to podcasts and things, I was just listening to it out of interest, but you can sort of grow a bit as a person, can't you, and just work on a few little bits. But I always feel that we're all unfinished, mauve deep, and we've all got something we can learn and change. And if it can, I'm trying to find it, if it can improve our relationships, then all the better. And I was reading a book on being happy. It's one I've had for ages, and it's not that I'm not happy, mauve deep, it's just that the author I really like, and I just wanted to know what he had to say. And he was saying something about you know, writing a letter to someone that you're thankful for, that's done something really good in your life and that you want to thank. And I thought that's really interesting. Talk about how gratitude actually makes you happy as a person, and I found that quite fascinating, that there's been, you know, studies done on this. Now I want a little bit more definition here between my petals. They all look a little bit flat, like they're just, you know, like that is cut out of that rather than sitting on top of it. So I'm going to have a little look and see if I've got a colour that I can, oh, I've got the perfect colour that I can use for shading. So I'm going right to the back. There is a colour called, here it is, porpoise. Now this is a slightly purpley grey, so I think this is going to work really well for shadows on this particular plant and flower. So I'm going to give this a sharpen and then just work some in between in the areas where I think it's going to be, like down here. We've got to have quite a bit of shadow, and then maybe if we put a bit along here, that will look like it's sort of sitting on top of the petal rather than part of the petal. And you could absolutely not do this and make that look like it's a pattern on the petal if that's what you want to do, because these are all made up flowers. There's no right or wrong way, or you might just like how you've done it without adding any other depth or anything. Can put a little bit here. Yeah, it was really busy today, so busy, because the sun's out for the first time in ages, and since the winter really. And although we had a few sunny days, but on the weekend, you know, so when people are off work, and I went into town, it was absolutely heaving. Along the canal path it was heaving, in the shop. I was like, whoa. I know now why I like to go out on a Monday. Mondays are almost completely empty when you're in town. I even took some stuff to the charity shop to donate, and the one shop said, we don't accept donations on a Saturday. And I thought, wow, must just get so busy. Luckily I found a shop that did, but it was just absolutely manic. I was like, my goodness. But I'm just not used to it because I don't normally go into town on a Saturday. But I just wanted to put these things into the charity shop because I was just trying to tidy up a little bit, because father-in-law's coming on Monday, and it's a good excuse, isn't it, to get your house in order a little bit when someone comes. I'm always really grateful. And they'd been sitting in the hallway for ages, and I just hadn't got round to saying to husband, what are these? And I did. He said, oh, those can go to charity shop. I thought, oh, good. They were sort of magazine holders, the sort of triangle. You've got it's not a triangle thing that you sort of store them in. I think his magazines are all online now, so he didn't need them. So there we go. Now we have our flower stems and leaves. We'll do those next. So we're going to grab some greens. Let's turn to our green. There are so many greens, it goes across, well actually probably fit on one section, I just haven't organised it that well. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What I want is a more bluey green, which I always think go better with these flowers, but I don't want anything too bright or too dark, so something in between. Where shall we go? Maybe... Sorry, I'm gonna have a big yawn. Too much oxygen, they say, don't they? I'm going to go for is the jade gonna work? No, it's a little bit too blue. I'm going to use the mint green. I'm just going to give it a sharpen. This is one of the regular pencils. There we go, mint green. But I had to remind husband that she was going to wash the balcony. Our balcony is made of glass. The floor, as well as it's weird calling it the floor, but that's what the man who fitted it called it. So I'm assuming he knows what he's doing and saying, so the floor and the rails type thing is all glass. The idea was so that we could get lots of light through it, because it really blocks the light in the rooms in the house. So we did that. I need something slightly darker. I think I might go for a castle green. Where are you? Castle green. There you are. Well, this one's quite short. Castle green. So anyway, it's got like green algae over it. It's just because of the winter, I think. So it needs I'm going to change my mind now I've done this. Maybe it won't hurt. This was wobbly lead. Maybe it won't hurt to have that down the middle. I'm going to do the same on this side, and then I'm going to change tack a little bit. I've just noticed these sort of dotty lines I want to do something with. There we go. So I want to start at the bottom here and then just fade up to that dotty line like that. Yes, but I've done a lot today. I actually have found time to record. I've been so busy this week. I haven't done a lot because I've been having to make various telephone calls and things like that to sort out something for my husband and while he's been at work, and I've had to we were getting, my son wanted some help with his assignment, which was all good. I had to scratch my head. Accountancy, such a long time since I've studied it, and it wasn't something I've studied anyway, but it was basically we were talking, he was consolidating his ideas, I was asking him a few questions to just get him thinking harder, and is this significant, is that significant, that sort of thing, you know, and he was basically doing it on his own, but just using me as a sounding board. I was quite happy to help him. It was quite interesting in the end. Anyway, so he's doing that, and then various other things. So it just got a bit hectic, but it's fine. It may mean that I have to put out a few less videos, but sometimes family stuff has to come first, and usually I manage to fit it all in. I also met a friend for coffee, which was rather nice. I'd seen her in the street, bumped into her. We usually only meet like 3 times a year. I bumped into her in the street and she said, "Do you want coffee tomorrow?" I was like, yeah. So we did that, which was rather nice. And it wasn't long, it was only an hour, and it was good. So nice. And then yeah, that was the day I went and helped my son after with his assignment. I think I did recorded a planner page. Someone just yawned really loudly next door. I don't know if you heard it. Now the reason for colouring the leaves like that, so it's a bit darker at the bottom and lighter, is it just feels like it gives the leaf a little bit of movement and texture somehow, rather than it just looking completely flat. And although it doesn't look realistic in any sense, I just feel it adds a little bit of interest, and it's completely up to you whether you decide you want to do something like that. I'm just feeling, I didn't mean for these to be completely white, whether you want to do it like that or whether you don't, you know, obviously it's completely up to you. Right, I haven't decided what I'm doing with these little lamps. These look like they're leaves that are shining, and I'm a little bit confused by that, so I'm going to think about that a little more in a minute. While down here, do this bit first. So we've got like a little hillock, which I'm thinking I want to colour like it's sort of greeny, mossy, grassy, something like that. But we do have these little tufts of grass and these circles, which I'm assuming are little rocks or stones. So that's how I'm going to approach it. So I'm going to start with this. I'm going to use a different colour. I'm thinking I might use the juniper green because it's fairly, it'll match this green. And I'm going to do a little circular movement so that it looks a bit sort of mossy and textured, because that's sort of how it's been drawn with the sort of wibbly line. You know, it hasn't been drawn with a straight line, it's sort of wibbly. So I'm thinking textured, wibbly textured, like that. And again, yeah, we were actually looking for the mandarin ducks today, but we didn't see them again. Sometimes they're a bit further along the canal than where we went, so maybe tomorrow we'll venture a little bit further along. It's rather nice to be able to walk along there, because I think I'm going to do the grass in this colour too. That's what I was debating, because it does look like it's growing out of here as if maybe that is grass. I don't know, we'll just do it anyway. And because I'm pressing a little bit harder, it looks a little bit different anyway. Yeah, we might go and find them. But we did see a pair of swans. They were out on the canal, so that was rather nice. Now stones, we can do grey or brown. Now I'm thinking of doing these lamps in a silvery colour, so I think if I do the stones in a grey, then they'll sort of tie it up slightly. Now in the, let me have a look. There is a slightly greeny grey called Wild Thyme in the Harmonious set, which I think I'm going to use. what's quite nice is when I first got my Harmonious pencils, they were really smelly, like chemical smelly, and I was worried that when I put them into this pencil case it would all smell, but actually it smells all gone. Very pleased. Tip though, if you do have really smelly pencils, sometimes they do, Black Widows as well I find can be quite smelly, just leave them open outside if you can, if you've got a safe dry space, or you know, in a conservatory or a spare room or something like that, and then they tends to just disappear. But if you keep shutting them back in the tin, it's going to stay. Now I'm going to do the sort of silvery outer part first, and I'm just looking at all my greys. Now a lot of the greys in this set are very browny. I think I'm going to go for the Storm Grey from the Harmonious set. There's loads of greys and I'm still really struggling to find one that's the shade that I want. It's a bit funny, isn't it? Here it is, Storm Grey. And I'm just going to do, so I'm just going to do the edges a bit darker, like this, and then make it lighter towards the middle like that. And then the same coming back the other way, like that. And then again on this little rim bit and down here. Like that. It's just the same on this little one. Now I'm not doing that top bit because I think that's a little hook, and so it wouldn't be filled in, if that makes sense. There we go. Now if the light is coming out of that leaf, what colour is it? I don't really want to colour yellow because I don't feel like it's going to work for this design. Now I colour the leaf in green. Yeah, let's find. I am going to go for the Pasteltint Bayberry. Now there are two Bayberry pencils in the set, in the Harmonious and the Pasteltint. They both have a Bayberry. They're quite different. Confusing, yeah? So I'll show you on the swatch chart. This is the Bayberry that I'm using, the Pasteltint one there. And the Harmonious Bayberry is there. It's really, really dark. So quite different. I think they slightly messed up there. But you know, you can see from the barrel. Look, if I show you the barrel of the other one, they're so different. You're not going to get confused. I don't think so anyway. Oh, can't get it back in the case now. Come on, pencil. Oh, there we go. Need a bit of the elastic wanted to sort of turn itself over. I still don't know what to do. I am wondering whether to make it look like it's giving off green light. That's what I'm going to do. You might not want to do this. You can absolutely go with a candytuft. That's what I'm going to do. Change my mind. Candytuft. It is a Pasteltint colour. It's a sort of brownish muted yellow. I put it in my yellows because I thought it looked a little bit yellowy, and if I put this in here, look, it just doesn't stand out as being too bright and too what's the word, vibrant and warm, because that isn't what the look I want in this picture. So I'm going to make it a little bit darker around the leaf bit, just layering it up a bit. You can layer them up a tad. There we go. Okay, I want to finish with some white. I've got no idea whether these bleed into white because I haven't tried it out on my swatch chart yet, so I am just going to have a go and see what happens. So this is my Jelly Roll 8 Sakura white pen, and I'm just going to go around here with some white dots. like that. Oh, I think there's another one. There we go. And around here. I might be doing more in a minute. I'm just sort of trying to make a decision really. Yeah. I think it does need a little bit more. Excuse me, sniffing, still got the end of cold. I'm just going to put them here. Yeah, the cold's pretty much gone. That's gone pink. But it's okay. It just looks different. Yeah, the cold's fine really. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. So there is our very first one. This is obviously going to be a series of 6 if you're a channel member. Hopefully you will have a compilation video by now that you can have a look at. If I haven't done one, drop me a note in the comments and go, where is it? But thank you all for watching. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, and please tune in for the next episode when it comes out. Happy colouring!